Hi there, everybody. This is Sean White from XDC in Australia. Today, I had the pleasure of discussing real-world assets with Lokesh, a blockchain solutions architect and IT director of PlugIn, the native oracle for XDC Network. Lokesh, how are you today?
Great, Sean. Thank you so much for having me here.
It's our pleasure. We're about 3 episodes in now with the XDC Real World Asset series, and I definitely wanted to get PlugIn in as much and as early as possible, because we really are setting up a great underpinning and the architecture of the actual XDC network. Lokesh, for those who, well, before we get into PlugIn, maybe just give us an idea of what your role entails and just a very small idea of your background. Thanks, Lokesh.
Sure. Yeah, so to put my name in detail, I'm Logeswaran, working as IT director and blockchain solution architect, in PlugIn. And I have close to 2 decades of IT industry, in which 7 years close to blockchain. And I have deep knowledge in both private and, public blockchain space. And I have heading this plugin from day one. I would like to thank our co-founders for giving me this opportunity, and of course, Sean, for taking the time to have this session with me.
That's fantastic. Well, it's like I said, it really is my pleasure, because I'm very indebted to XDC Network for giving the world such a strong fabric of infrastructure, strong in the sense that it's technically very stable, but it's also coming from what I think is a very great ethical frame of reference, and very much sort of appealing to the small business and the other sort of smaller microeconomies of the world and all the cultures of the world. Lokesh, give me a little bit of an idea. What is an oracle, and how does that actually underpin any blockchain network? How would you put that?
Okay. See, to explain about the decentralized oracle, I can talk about oracle first, and then I'll jump on to decentralized oracle. Okay, so
Please.
in the blockchain world, what happens? Everything is driven by smart contract, right? The smart contract sometimes required a data from the external world. Let's say, data from a commodity, like commodity database, or foreign exchange database, and so on. But those data cannot be directly interlinked with a smart contract. So that is where a plugin comes into picture. I would say the oracle comes into picture, which actually bridges the data from the external world to the smart contract. Okay, so that's an oracle. And plugin is actually decentralized oracle, because when it comes to centralized oracle, there are possibility of data gets hacked, or because it is centralized storage, right? Anybody can hack the data. But
Sure.
decentralized oracle will ensure the data is getting from different data sources and then aggregated before it writes the data onto the blockchain. Yeah.
It actually makes a lot of sense. Why bother having a decentralized ledger if you're not also combining that with a decentralized oracle? And what is that how plugin was designed to be?
Yeah, so see, plugin, I mean, this is a big story, I would say, because when we started designing this plugin, we had one purpose in our mind, to provide a cost-effective, scalable, and then secure decentralized oracle to the XDC network. Okay,
Sure.
that was the primary focus. But when we started developing it, we thought, okay, it's a time to develop dApps which leverage the PLI oracle, so that community can understand the real potential of PLI. PLI is our ticker name, PLI. That is where we realized, okay, let's start developing dApps, for the DeFi developers, for game developers, and people will start to utilize the PLI oracle effectively. And when we developed this way back in 2021, we did develop the feeds, but then we launched our plugin laboratory. All the dApps, whatever we have developed so far, which is available in pluginlabs.co. So I would request all the listeners to go there and then check our plugin wheel, which will definitely help them understand the plugin versatility, how diversified we are, and what are the use cases we have tested ourselves, before we take it to the market.
And we're in a XDC Real World Assets series. Would you say that you've had a little bit of experience dealing with projects, platforms, businesses, applications with real-world assets at this stage, either off-chain or on-chain?
Absolutely. See, I mean, I can put it in a high level. For example, when it comes to real-world asset tokenization, definitely they would be requiring a price feed, like market prices of gold, so oil or any stocks, because that is very crucial for valuing the tokenized assets accurately, right? Because without which the valuation will not be there. And similarly, asset information. If you take real estate, we need ownership details about property, asset characteristics such as location, size, condition. All these make a big influence to the value of a token, right? Similarly, the regulatory compliance, for example, any AML or KYC about the properties and
Yes.
all those stuff, we can bring the data. Similarly, financial indicators such as interest rate, inflation rate, because that also, influencing the pieces put together. And last but not the least, the ESG score, because everybody is now looking at ESG, right? Environmental, social, and governance data for trade finance. So we also provide the data. So which means, in a nutshell, we as a plugin team are ready to bridge with any data sources which customers might ask, and we can get it ready in matter of hours. Yeah,
it's interesting when you're talking about that, Lokesh. I hadn't occurred to me that even something, well, not simple, but even something as obvious as KYC and AML, that would most likely be part of an Oracle feed through to a smart contract. Would that be correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Potentially,
when it comes to the KYC, many times when it comes to the bank, they have KYC and the other bank may not have the same KYC about a customer, right? But in the case of blockchain, this is feasible now. Like one trusted source of data can be accessed by multiple parties.
Yeah, which I guess gives that straight through processing. It's quite amazing, the digital world we're walking into. It's quite interesting. I mean, there's so many different applications, I guess, and utilities for oracles, but I never really thought about cutting out all those layers of intermediaries and bureaucracies in banks and whatnot. But it's really going to save a lot of paper, probably put some people out of work, but maybe there's obviously new evolving careers and vocations in this digital age that are coming about. But obviously the customer's going to win with faster responses and so many other benefits. So how do you find XDC Network as a real world asset platform in itself, or a network in itself? What do you see as the unique features of XDC Network that make it ideal for this tokenization? Because I'm assuming you've worked with Comtech. Would that be correct?
We have worked with Comtech, and we are ready to provide data feeds for the Comtech Gold as well. Because when it comes to the XDC Network as a platform for RWA, I feel XDC Network is revolutionizing the RWA tokenization for a long time now, because we are seeing a very big gap between digital and traditional assets, when it comes to tokenization. But XDC is bridging that gap, right? And of course, we all know, right? RWA is referring to the tokenization of assets like commodity or real estate or financial instruments such as those stuff. But when it comes to the XDC network, it is designed for interoperability and compliance with, and we are complied with the ISO standard, right? Financial messaging standards, and the XDC network excels in facilitating the trade finance as well. And I would say with XDC proven record, I would say its capability of performing the best RWA platform in the market. And some of the projects, such as you mentioned, the Comtech Gold, we have US Treasury, securities tokenization by
That's
Yield.
correct. Yeah.
And
well, that US Treasury bond with YieldTech in particular.
And for Stasis, we are providing Oracle service.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
so you're doing work with Stasis as well, with the Euro. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, these are very fundamental parts of the infrastructure which are going to support so much of the digital economy going forwards. And with that securitized relationship that Yield Tech has, it's quite fascinating when we see BlackRock and Fink pretty much
Absolutely, because
throwing millions, tens of millions of dollars, and that sort of being part of that whole securitized relationship that XDC Network builders have with them. It's going to be massive.
Absolutely, because I recently read an article, from globaltreasure.com, which states that the tokenized assets market is transforming and driven by, industry giant like Visa Card, HSBC, Hang Seng Bank, and many other big players are coming to the market. And it is not surprise, BlackRock
Yeah,
planning
that's
to
right.
tokenize $10 trillion worth of its assets. So this is going to be a big boom for the market.
Yeah, I think we all, for those who've been in blockchain as long as us, we've definitely seen the writing on the wall that real world asset and tokenization or asset tokenization. But on top of all that, we have process digitalization, like with the exports and imports industry, especially when we're looking at XDC Trade Network being part of that whole paperless trade and digital documentation. Transferability. This is the other side of the coin. We're not just talking about assets, we're talking about processes. Maybe touch upon, what experiences has yourself or as PlugIn have with perhaps looking at, all the details involved with getting a container or a parcel from port to port. Do you have any sort of thing to say on that?
We're talking about the IoT data or supply chain, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
See, that's definitely possible. As I mentioned earlier, any data, you name it, we can bring it into the blockchain. But only thing is, we definitely we need a data requirement from customers, like what is the data sources, and this can be, easily achieved. Maybe I can quote few example. We have done few tracking solution use cases here in Sharjah. We are in Dubai, right? And one POC wherein we need to track the logistics transformation from one place to another place, like source to destination. And we have helped this particular client to achieve that use case through the Oracle, in addition to XDC private blockchain. So on a whole, the private blockchain of XDC and then the Oracle can very well mingle together. Just we need to add some essence of public blockchain in the middle. That's it.
And what was, can you so that was on the private side of XDC Network. Can you maybe give us can you name any names there, or what was the actual, what was actually being tokenized, or what was being, what was the data feed about?
So we recently, I would say last year, we have a part of pluginlabs.co. We have implemented Equit Edge. That is our fractional real estate tokenization.
That was a real estate thing, wasn't it?
Real estate, yes.
Yeah, I remember. Is that still going?
Yeah, it is still on.
Oh, great.
That's the one we last year we launched, and the idea was very beautiful because when you take a city like a Dubai, like UAE, country like UAE, owning a fractional of assets is a dream for many people, right?
Yes.
And there are few players in the market, but they are into Web2 at the moment. So we last year when we launched the Equit Edge, we were pretty confident, because from blockchain standpoint, we have expertise with us, and from subject matter standpoint, we have an expertise from real estate. So we both, shook hand and we delivered this product. The point here is, we are fractionalizing these assets by following the protocol, like forming the SPV, everything. Like it's a big process flow, right? That is where the Oracle, is really helpful in bringing the data, like asset ownership about the property, how much the rent is getting paid by the respective, renters, and how the dividend is going to be given back to the investors. Like all these are getting addressed.
So that's quite a massive achievement, with teaming up with the expertise of this real estate sort of management, and then basically fractionalizing whole blocks of buildings in Dubai. That's incredible.
We have to
Do you
launch
think?
this project. We have to launch this project, but
Yeah,
the product is ready. We'll be, maybe
sure.
launching it in another 2 to 3 months. Yeah.
Great. Do you know if how they're doing the payments? Is the payments being done digitally as well, or is it still in fiat?
So we are working on converting that fiat to crypto, right?
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
at the end of the day, the token will be part of it, like utility token,
Yeah.
which will be a major boost to the economy. Because the point
Yeah.
here is, when someone comes to the platform and they want to buy a fraction of particular property, they will be given an opportunity to pay it in fiat, or they can pay it in the stable coin, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then which will be in the common smart contract pool, and then which will be taken to the SPV and so on. It's a big process, but the point here
Yeah.
is we addressed all the issues, because we need to make sure all the audiences are covered, right? We don't
Yeah.
want just Web3 players to come to the
Mm-hmm.
platform and then play with it. We are giving
Yeah.
this opportunity to everybody. Yeah.
And this is the thing, Lokesh. We're all in this sort of transition, right? So we need to kind of like bring Web 2 into that whole, Web 3 world. And even for those who are struggling to even be on Web 2, we need to get the Web 1 people involved as well.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Absolutely. Because, when it comes to Web2 to Web3, I can certainly say that plugin is playing an imperative role here. Because many applications now, they are trying to convert that into Web3, right? But they are stuck, because
Yeah.
either they do not have expertise, like blockchain resources, they don't have to transform from Web2 to Web3,
Yeah.
or they are really worried about the applications instability. What will happen if I move from Web2 to Web3? Whether it will be any additional cost, overhead to my capital, and so on, so on.
Yeah, it's a
So
big move. Yeah.
exactly, and plugin can really help here in transforming the Web2 to Web3 by just bridging the data, write the data onto the blockchain, and still the people can taste the Web2. But ideally, what will happen in the backend? The data gets returned to the blockchain, so there will be no difference to the customers. But as a
No.
business owner, they can see the real transformation.
As a network, we're doing all this work as an infrastructure. Have you found that XDC Network has good resources, or at least has been supportive of what plugin has been doing? I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to, yeah. I mean, like, what's your been experiences with? I mean, have you always been in Dubai working there? Has that been a helpful space?
Exactly, because we have been into Dubai XDC office multiple times, and
Sure.
see, I'm into blockchain for last 7 years, as I mentioned earlier, and I have experience with almost 4 to 5 blockchain, like to name few: Polygon, Apple Ledger Fabric, and then XDC.
Okay.
We have Binance Smart Chain, etc., etc. But the
Okay.
point here is the value of XDC. I would say they are providing a lot of resources to the developers, because I can directly access the XDC team,
Yes.
which you cannot get it from other blockchain, right? Because you will
Right.
be have so many intermediary. But here I
Yes.
can raise my concerns, and they will address it immediately. That's one thing. And we have
Yes.
a Discord channel where any developers can directly jump in and then ask the
Yeah.
question. They get that answer.
I can
And
definitely
yeah,
sort of agree on that.
yeah, so many webinars are happening, right? Because I could see hackathon is being conducted by XDC. Even I participated almost four hackathon, and I won
Yeah.
2 out of 4 hackathon. And infrastructure is very, very good with XDC, because I am seeing that faucet is available ready-made, and then even I developed few dApps, few NPM packages for developers. Now the point here is the acceptance is very high in XDC, because when you develop something, you can
Yeah.
directly share with them, and
Yes.
they're happily accepting it and then sharing with the fellow developers, which is actually giving you a boost or motivation, I would say, from developer
Yeah.
standpoint. And from company or entrepreneur standpoint, I would say there are so many meetups is happening, because I myself be part of some of the meetup, and I could see the Web3 event is happening across the globe. which is actually
Yes.
overwhelming responses from entrepreneurs, also developers, and we have ecosystem support, right?
Yes.
Even this month we have one meeting with the ecosystem partners. It is happening regularly, which will help all the players to share the knowledge and what I'm doing and what you're doing. We can share our challenges and help each
Yes.
other. And finally, we have SME support, right? We have so many big minds in XDC team.
Yes.
We can, just knock the door and ask questions and get the answers.
I definitely agree. We tend to kind of share our skills, and working in a bit of a hive. I mean, I think that was probably part of the vision of XDC Network as being a community-driven blockchain network, sort of like a not a top-down sort of approach, but more of a centrist or sort of more cooperative, collaborative regime, I guess, if you want to call it a hierarchy or not. But it's good, the availability that each one of us typically gives to each other, and I definitely would agree upon that. And it's nice to hear it from your perspective as well, coming from such a long and illustrious background and working in different private and public chains. Thanks for that, Lokesh. What sort of, I mean, obviously none of this is financial advice or anything, but you obviously have an array of nodes now. I mean, and what's the currency for paying for the service? That's the plugin token? Would that be correct?
Yeah. So we have our ticker name PLI.
PLI. Yes.
And again, as you rightly mentioned, this is not an investment advice. I would recommend every individual to do their own research before buying any crypto. And if you look at the PLI, we are majorly available in Bitrue, along with
yes, Bitrue, yeah,
HitBTC, XT.com, and XFAB. Recently, we launched DEX and many other exchanges. Maybe I would recommend all the viewers to check our white papers along with the website.
Yeah, I'll definitely put. Yeah, I was going to say I'll definitely put some details on the description for this to make sure that if people want to look into the tokenomics and the white paper and the exchanges, they can also do that research and take on maybe some advice from a certified financial advisor on that particular aspect. And right from the beginning, you said it's a decentralized Oracle. So how many nodes do we have? Or do you have?
Now 1,100 plus nodes globally.
Yeah.
Out of 1,100, we are close to 27 validator nodes, which is actually performing, vetting the data, ensuring data is precise before it writes data onto the blockchain.
Okay. Yeah. I remember in the early days, it wasn't really the early days because I missed out, but I was definitely looking at being a node. But that's okay. I'm sure you got enough people. There's plenty. I think there's a waiting list still, isn't there?
No, really, no. I'm really surprised because when we started way back 2021, we believed in our community because community is our great support and they are always with us.
Sure.
Because they are helping each other. If you look at our Discord channel, like community members are helping each other. It is not that we are spending the time, but they are helping each other. Tracking the issues.
There was plenty of people willing to help me to set up a node, but I was like, oh man, I'm in the too hard basket when it comes to
and many people have created the script actually because the shell script they have created a quick node installation, which is actually helping the new entrants to set up the node very quickly. So it's an awesome job for from the community team. Yeah.
And and long may that continue. It's I think we're finding that a lot of projects or platforms or businesses built on XDC have very, very good, helpful and robust discussions in the Discords or Telegrams. I think we might have been sort of coming to the end of what we need to talk about. What's your future outlook with PlugIn, and maybe just with your background as an architect specialist, what do you see PlugIn and blockchain and technology in general moving towards as we close out this XDC Real World Asset Series episode today, Lokesh?
Absolutely. So I would say I would take this as a two questions. Like first one, for the plugin roadmap, we have a very big vision to achieve by this year. Like one is cross-chain interoperability. We are working on it. Our team is actively working on it. And multi-chain, we already went opened our gateway to multi-chain, right?
Okay.
So currently we are available for XDC Apothium testnet, mainnet, and then Polygon testnet, Polygon mainnet. So we're planning to work on the multi-chain every month or so, and we will be onboarding multiple EVM. The idea is to give this experience to other ecosystem players and invite them to come and part of XDC network. That's an idea about the multi-chain. And we are also planning for enhanced VRF like verifiable random number. That is majorly helpful for the gaming dApps, so NFT marketplace and so on. And we are also planning to onboard a few more data feeds, to support the RWA ideology. And then we are also open to building a custom data feeds. Of course, we definitely need recommend client. But at the end of the day, any data, you name it, we can develop it and configure it in a matter of hours. I would say it's not like days anymore; it's like hours, and we are ready to support that. And when it comes to the RWA tokenization, I would say XDC is taking a proactive step because they are ahead of it. I would say they have an edge compared to other blockchain, because we have been talking about this RWA for last, I would say, 2 years, if I say it rightly, right? And we have implemented it, because the point here is we are not just talking, we are showing it in action. I mean, as XDC ecosystem partners, I'm saying. Yeah,
that's it. We've been tokenizing private debt for a while, and obviously with Yield Tech in the States and the UK offering that US Treasury bond, and obviously
we have,
in Dubai with Comtech.
There are many.
There's certainly, definitely a lot going on, and I'd love to see PlugIn grow with that too. And well, I think we might wrap it up there. I really do appreciate your time, Lokesh, and I just want to thank you for your experience and your dedication in XDC Network. And it's probably overdue, but it's a good opportunity to say hi, and nice to have met you.
Thank you so much, Sean, for taking time. It's really helped us, because I wanted to share our thoughts to the community. And of course, I wanted to thank our community, XDC community, and then XDC co-founders and all the foundation team for the great support. We are really grateful for that.
Well, I'm sure it's reciprocated. Lokesh, thank you for your time and have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Take care.